Bon matin à tous. Good morning, everybody. Mon nom est Étienne Fournier. Je serai votre co-animateur pour ce match au championnat canadien division mix édition 2019 où les deux équipes qui s'affrontent ce matin, Battleship du Québec qui sera en bleu et qui affrontera Victoria, Gulls and Buoys de la Colombie-Britannique évidemment. I will not be alone in this hosting this webcast. I will have the great opportunity to share it with one of the finest ultimate women player in the country. She's just back from Edmonton earning a gold medal, and she's also back from Germany where she earned a bronze medal. So Brittany Dos Santos, how are you this morning, Brittany?
I'm good, Etienne. How are you?
I'm very fine. Could not be better. So first question to you, Brittany, how heavy it is to carry two medals around your neck in the same season?
I wouldn't
Taking
say
you off
heavy,
guard.
but yeah, that was a little unexpected question there. It's definitely a very big privilege and honor to be able to have those two medals around my neck. Finally, a gold especially. I'm super happy about that one. Funny little story, I used to think I was cursed because I've played for so many years on like a top junior team and have never won a gold. So I'm so happy to finally have one around my neck with a team that I love so very much. And it's just such a privilege.
The first gold medal is the toughest to earn. So congratulations again for those great achievements. In the meantime, so we are in a pool play right now. So these teams have played two games yesterday. So Battleship, that's initially seeded number 6, finished first in Quebec. They're second in the Pool D, and they have won both of their games yesterday. They played against Spawn from the Atlantic region, who was seeded number 16. They won 15-5. And they made an upset yesterday while playing Union, ranked number 4, where the Battleship has won 13-10. On the other end, Victoria Gulls and Buoys, they are seeded number 9, second from British Columbia, third in the pool. They have won both of their games against Crux, seeded number 19, and Locals 613 from Ottawa, seeded number 14. They won both of these games 13-4 and 15-2. Battleship en offensive, on attaque la longue dès le départ. Et c'est une passe complétée au numéro 15 et c'est confirmé par les observateurs, le numéro 15, Simon Chapdelaine, qui donne le ton dès le début de ce match, inscrivant le premier point de l'équipe québécoise. C'est 1-0 pour Battleship.
Mm-hmm. I was actually talking to some Union players yesterday at the end of the day, and they told me how Battleship really like to huck, and this is the first point of the game and they scored off a huck, so I'm sure we can expect to see a lot of those this game.
Setting the tone in the first point, that's what you want as a team. So weather-wise, it's a little windy. If we compare to yesterday, less windier, I would say, but still a significant wind coming from the almost top left hand side of your screen, going downward to your right hand side of your screen. So as we mentioned, less windier, but still definitely can have an impact on the disc path today.
It also seems to be sort of a little bit of a crosswind, which can be very difficult for swing passes, which are really important in the game. So hopefully people really focus on making that throw with intention and really completion, so hopefully.
Victoria on the receiving end of this pull, setting a horizontal stack, attacking the break right from the start, earning some yardage halfway through the field. Great offense rhythm so far, keeping the stall count pretty low. Going on the sideline, getting into the red zone. Number 76, pivoting. Oh, great defense. Number 10 from Victoria, Larissa Curry, was attacking the line, but she was very, very tightly well guarded by number 20, if I'm not mistaken. number 28, maybe Heidi Larouche. Guillemette putting it long. Upwind, but very well guarded, so great bid, but very well defended by Victoria, number 76, Patrick Church. Victoria back in the hawking business, defended once again. So far, a little hawk fest here in Brampton, defended by Adam Gauvin. Guillemette qui reprendra le disque pour le mettre en jeu dans le coin de sa propre zone de points. Voyons voir s'il tentera la passe longue encore une fois. Le stack est vertical. On remet en soutien. On pivote. On gagne des verges. C'est maintenant le numéro 23, Lance Blackstock. Ottawa based player that drives 2 hours and a half to practice with Battleship. And he's been doing that for the last 3 years. Impressive commitment by Blackstock. On gagne des verges le long de la ligne. Le numéro 16, Colombe Hugues. Possession du disque, remet à Guillemette. En soutien, Guillemette. Le disque est long, ça flotte. C'était pour Blackstock, mais le vent a probablement étiré la trajectoire du disque. Revirement en faveur de Victoria. Quickly moving sideways. Still kind of an horizontal stack from Victoria. Attacking the long path. Disc is in the air. Number 13 is the target, but it's a little too far. Nikita Sido was the target. She was quite on herself, so good decision. Good throwing decision, but the execution was a little too far.
Same as yesterday, we saw a lot of that, where the throws in that direction specifically were going just a little too far for everybody.
Yeah, some disc almost landing in the fence in the back end of the field. Battleship, de retour en possession du disque. On cherche le soutien. Belle défensive de Victoria. On trouve Guillemette. Guillemette patiemment. Attends, on remet en diagonale à Blackstock. Et beau jeu de pied ici pour rester à l'intérieur du terrain. On force côté revers le long de la ligne du côté de Victoria. Battleship. On bouge le disque rapidement. On centre. Pivote bien de côté de Blackstock. On trouve la cible. Le numéro 32, Patrick Mapp, un des joueurs à surveiller aujourd'hui. Remet le 10, petit passe en soutien qui flotte. Guillemette met le 10 dans l'espace. C'est attrapé par le numéro 9. Oh, il atterrit lourdement à Adam Gauvin qui reste au sol. Là. Il a attrapé le 10. Il y a eu un contact alors qu'il était dans les airs. Il a pu contrôler son atterrissage. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Quite a rough landing here by Gauvin. Ooh.
It looked like he almost got sandwiched between two people there.
Right. Got squeezed while he was in the air, so no way you can control your landing. So
I'd like to point out also Casey Skrepnek had really good handler defense there. It's sort of, you see a lot from Victoria and Gulls on the handlers. Certain people like to play really tight, as well as others have been sort of sloughing in the lane a little bit for a few stalls and then going tight back on their reset handler.
Alors Gauvin qui est toujours au sol. Gauvin doesn't seems to be moving, so it gets a little worrying. So both teams are there to assist him. We seem to be reaching out for some assistance. He's getting up. Le Gauvin qui boite, là, vraiment, ça semble... Ça a fait mal, c'est certain. On espère que ça sera temporaire et qu'il pourra s'en remettre. Bon, ça semble, il boite encore un peu, mais... N'empêche, un bel attrapé, une belle passe de Guillemette là, qui vraiment a traversé la transversale ici, dans l'espoir de rejoindre Gauvin dans la zone de points. Ça sera repris par Battleship à environ 3 verges de la zone de points sur la ligne. Vincent Hull en possession du 10, attaque le côté brisé, c'est le point de Battleship. Le numéro 16, Colombe Hugues, qui inscrit le deuxième point de Battleship. et qui donne le premier bris à l'équipe des Bleus en ce début de match. So Battleship just scoring the first break point of the game, taking an early 2-0 lead in this Pool D game. So far we have seen the two teams attacking the long game with, I would say, mitigated success. We saw Battleship scoring their first point on a long pass, and after on the second point, both teams have attempted the long game with no success, at least in that point. So let's see how they can adjust their games in the very near future.
Battleship as well doing a good job of recognizing poaches and noticing when somebody's open. They had the disc on the far side of the field and had a nice sort of bladey pass to a wide open receiver on the near side, and it's just great vision for them to recognize that.
I'm very impressed by Battleship. It's a team from Quebec, from Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, which is about a 20-minute drive southeast of Montreal. And Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu is not a huge ultimate community, but somehow, some way, they figure out a way of having a very, very mixed program through like many years now. They are always attending CUC, qualifying somehow, some way, and their intention this year is to win it all in CUC in order to take the lead in the Canadian team that will present the country next year at World. So a small program, small ultimate community, but very, very strong and committed to the game. Nice D here by number 44. There was a call on the play. Janie Desrosiers qui a intercepté cette passe. Il y a eu un appel. On tentera d'éclaircir qu'est-ce qui est arrivé. Fun, the shortest of the two observers, based also in Montreal. Very, very engaged and committed to the Montreal Ultimate community also. So there was a foul call, and it will go back to Victoria. I believe there was a foul on the mark. It was contested, but the observers ruled it as a Victoria possession. Just clarifying the last detail, and the disc is live in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Victoria hucking it in the air. Oh, the pretty good pressure from number 99, Audrey Galipo-Lessard. It was within number 9's reach. Unfortunately, she could not handle it. Claire Remington. So, Battleship de retour en possession du disque. On a un stack vertical, on attaque directement le côté bris. Numéro 7, Louis-Félix Bousquet qui remet en soutien. Et voilà, c'est parti, ça flotte. Mais oh, là, problème d'exécution ici. La décision était serrée, là, la joueuse de Battleship qui était chaudement défendue. On a tenté la bombe quand même, mais sans succès. C'est le numéro 24, Jean-Philippe McCutcheon, là, qui s'en veut un peu d'avoir manqué sa passe. Ça sera possession Victoria, who will put the disc back into play at their own goal line. Running a horizontal stack, putting it long. It's floating, and it's just slightly out of reach. Number 9, still Claire Remington was the target on this one. A little too much gas or a little too much angle. Lacking hanging time on this pass. Battleship, de retour en possession du 10. La 44, Janie Desrosiers, qui alimente son coéquipier. La cible était numéro 15, Simon Chapdelaine, mais la passe était dans son dos. Et le temps qu'il réalise, la passe était destinée, c'était déjà hors de portée. Et ça a sorti à peu près près de la ligne centrale du terrain. Numéro 33 from Victoria, Pascal Begin-Nose, who will put the disc back into play, resetting it to number 1501, Pacto. Dump and swing by Victoria, gaining some yardage along the sideline. Looking for a reset, finding number 3, David Whitney Brown. Disc is floating to, oh, nice layout bid, but just the disc popped out of, I think it's Remington's hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, number 9, Claire Remington. Great layout bid, but just this could not stay in her hand. So while the third point of this game is getting longer and longer, the stake of this point gets greater. Disc is floating, it's in the air, it's long, and it's completed. Battleship qui attaque le red zone. Numéro 15, Chapdelaine, vraiment soutien. On bouge à défensive et c'est complété. La numéro 44 de Battleship, Janie Desrosiers, qui inscrit le 3e point de Battleship, le 2e point bris consécutif, et c'est 3-0 pour l'équipe de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu.
Those long point for Victoria, Gulls, and Buoys must be very hard at this point. We mentioned how yesterday Soup had a really small roster. Gulls and Buoys actually have an even smaller roster with only 17 people. So yesterday they didn't have too many close games yesterday. However, it's still fatigue. A lot of running happens in the sport, and that's definitely a factor they have to take into play. And hopefully those long points they can try to make shorter to help them in future games.
Absolutely. Timeout call by Victoria, trailing by 3 early in this first half. Victoria just got broken twice in a row. So we saw 2 out of those 3 points were initiated by long games, by Battleship. So far Battleship winning the long game so far. But it's we are at an early stage in this game, so I'm sure that Victoria will adapt somehow, some way.
Definitely. During warm-up, I also noticed, I've personally never seen this before, and it's the way they set up this drill was really smart. During their warm-up, they had a hugging drill in which they were purposely angling the disc so that it would float towards the opposite side of where it was thrown, so that a defender who was in position, we saw some of that yesterday, was by the throw be put out of position and have a really hard time of getting that. And we've seen a few of those throws. It hasn't worked too much yet, but it's a really smart way to put a defender out of position by just giving a really hard throw to read.
Great observation, and I'm going to surf on that. I've attended Iris practice earlier this summer, which is the elite team from Quebec, which you have won against in the gold medal game last week. And Iris, they had like a 20-minute drill with the 2 coaches throwing crappy long throws. So forcing, and they were playing like 2 players attacking the long, and there was no O, no D, so you just go get the disc. So it just works out the skills of reading the disc, however it floats or doesn't float, depending on the angle that was given to the disc. On attaque le 4e point avec Battleship au service pour le lancer d'engagement. Alors Brittany qui me partage présentement deux des 3 points. C'est Jérémy Tremblay-Rémillard qui ont complété la passe pour le point. Alors il connaît un fort match là, jusqu'à date. So Brittany just mentioned me that number 55 from Battleship actually made 2 of the 3 passes for the point. So in the meantime, Victoria going long, and it's completed. Number 76, Patrick Church, on the doorstep of the end zone, just doing a little dish pass to number 2, Peter Galbraith. And now Vic is back in the game, scoring their first point. They're still trailing 1-3. So Victoria will be pulling in the on the upcoming point. They will be pulling kind of upwind. We feel the wind now straight into our faces, so changes slightly direction. Based on the flag though, you see that there's still an angle on that wind. So tricky, windy condition that both of these teams will have to deal with.
And hopefully now Victoria just had a really nice downwind, clean, quick point. Hopefully this can give them some confidence and momentum going forward in this game, and hopefully they can really apply some pressure here and get a break.
How important is it to believe into your system? So if you're used to be successful on a long game, and somehow, some way, if it doesn't work for 1 or 2 points, you know, where's the threshold where you say, okay, we got to stop it, or we just either got to stop it, or still believing it, and then so far Victoria still, as you mentioned, has been successful in the last point. So let's see how they can figure out Battleship O-line. Alors les Bleus en possession du 10 au point au brick mark. Et là c'est 55 là, qui Tremblay-Rémillard qui vient sauver la passe que Vincent Houle lui a fait. Ça a tombé. Vincent Houle, un vétéran de Battleship et de la scène Ultimate québécoise, porte le numéro 69, number 69, which is a veteran in the Quebec scene, and a new dad. I saw his son, just called Lennox. He is in Brampton with his newborn, and the last night was not the best night for sleeping, he told me this morning. Alors, un point qui semble avoir été marqué, mais je crois qu'il y a eu de l'obstruction, il y a eu un pic. Toujours le numéro 55, Jérémy Tremblay-Rémillard, qui était la cible là-dessus. Battleship qui menace. On patiente. Numéro 7, Bousquet. Trouve Houle. Houle, feinte. Il est forcé côté revers. Attaque le côté bris, le disque flotte. Oh, numéro 55. Tremblay-Rémillard. Et c'est confirmé. Battleship qui inscrit un 4e point. La ligne offensive qui livre la marchandise. C'est maintenant 4-1 pour l'équipe de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu.
Battleship, they're also doing a horizontal stack. We've seen them do a vertical stack as well, possibly trying to figure out between the two which works better against this team. It's always good to know both and be good at both to adapt to whatever team you played for or against.
So number 55, Jérémy Tremblay-Rémillard, so far has a very, very productive game. He scored once and he has 2 assists. So is Vincent Houle, who so far has 2 assists. And that's something we can expect from number 69. He's a handler that can put it like wherever you are, he will find you. So we can expect a lot of very productive passes from Vincent Houle, number 69. Alors nous sommes à Brampton, juste au nord de Toronto, nord-ouest de Toronto, où a lieu le championnat canadien d'Ultimate édition 2019. C'est les divisions Mix et Master Mix qui sont présentées durant ce week-end. Le tournoi a commencé hier avec des tournois de pool. On est à la 2e journée. Il y aura des matchs de pool pour les deux premières plages horaires. Et par la suite, là, on sera dans les matchs de reclassement qui mèneront à la journée de demain, où on divise le top 8 du reste des autres équipes. Voilà! Le numéro number 33 almost got a touch on this Pascal Bégin nose. Excusez-moi. Numéro 33, c'est Gabriel Roy. Victoria looking to earn some yardage against this poached defense played by Battleship. They went back to a person. No, they're kind of still a junk defense. Victoria at their brick mark, faking it long, holding it back, finding the hole, number 76, Patrick Church. Great layout bid by Battleship, number 32, Patrick Mapp, taking one for the team to Didas Dit, and is going long. And almost caught the disc, calling a foul, but the Victoria opponent is challenging that call. He said he had a glimpse to it before it was in his hand, while Mapp is calling for a strip call. Very, very tight call. It's hard to tell from our point of view.
Also, Battleship, they're coming down. They came down in a pseudo, which is, it's not necessarily a zone, but it's where the handlers play zone, a little cup on the other handlers, on the opposing handlers. while everybody downfield is person D. And normally people usually do it for one pass or until a sideline. Usually it's used to stop a pull play or sort of trick the other team into thinking it's a zone. And because of it, Patrick Mapp got the chance to get a nice layout D.
Disc is held by Battleship, who calls a timeout early in this first half. So Battleship leading 4-1. So Battleship on defense, and they have an opportunity to score potentially their third break point of this first half and take a 5-1 lead, while Victoria will for sure fight back in order to make their O-line a successful one, at least for this point. Alors Battleship là, qui est vraiment à la porte des points d'inscrire un troisième point bris tôt dans cette première mi-temps. Ça pourrait être un point tournant dans ce match. Si Battleship, ça donne une avance de 5-1 avec 3 bris. Ça sera définitivement, ça accentuera la pression sur l'équipe de Victoria, là. Et comme Brittany l'a mentionné un peu plus tôt, Victoria qui a un alignement assez limité, seulement 17 joueurs du côté de Victoria. Alors que du côté de Battleship, là, on est au-delà de, je crois, c'est 24 ou 25 joueurs là, sur l'alignement. Alors, un peu plus de profondeur, à tout le moins en termes de nombre de joueurs. Map, le numéro 32 en possession du disque. On a un stack vertical dans la zone de points. Un setup assez classique. Attendons-nous peut-être à Guillemette en avant du stack qui tentera de se démarquer. On attaque la ligne. C'est Blackstock qui attaque la ligne. On feinte pour le côté bris. On remet en soutien. On bouge le 10, c'est maintenant Guillemette. On a perdu quelques verges, mais on maintient le stack vertical. On va attaquer le bris, on attaque le côté ouvert. C'est Map qui est le destinataire de cette passe, mais c'est malheureusement, je crois que Guillemette a fait cette passe un peu en désespoir de cause. Toutes ses options étaient fermées. Very well defended by Victoria on this end, because the pressure, like, it was a very dangerous position they were in, and they figured out a way to force an unforced error by Battleship. Attacking back, Victoria, number 33, Pascal Bégin, knows. Finding his teammate, 76, Church, on the doorstep. Just dishing the disc to number 13, Nikita Sido. Victoria back into this game. Scoring a second point. They're now trailing only by 2.
And Church there again with the assist of the 2 points that Victoria Gulls and Buoys have scored. He has assisted both of them.
So it's always painful when you're on the red zone. You call a timeout to ensure you get that point, and then you lose the disc for an unforced error. Well, let's give all the credit also to Victoria, who did put a ton of pressure, person-to-person pressure, to defend their own end zone. So great matchup.
Gulls and Buoys, they're doing a really good defensive job. And on the other hand, for them, it's probably very encouraging for them to be able to play that tight defense and get a D and turn right around with a huck and an easy point off that.
La ligne offensive de Battleship qui recevra le lancer d'engagement. On entame le 7e point de ce match. Battleship en avance par 2. Ils ont inscrit 2 points bris. Alors que Victoria est toujours en quête de son premier point bris dans ce match. On est dans les matchs de poule de la division D ici à ce championnat canadien. L'Ultimate édition 2019, la division mixte. Nice hang time on this pool, but unfortunately lands out of bounds. So will be put back into play at the brick mark. By who else than Tremblay-Rémillard. Still horizontal stack set by Battleship. Le numéro 24 est fin seul. Tremblay-Rémillard cherche son soutien. Malheureusement, a tenté la passe de la gauche, mais miscued here. Victoria will attack back. They're at midfield. Church with the disc, looking for a reset, faking, going open side to number 9. Remington. Disc is landing. There was a call on the play.
That was also a very nice D there by Peter Galbraith to get the turnover. He sloughed in the lane to stop any upfield passes, and then a few seconds later jumped towards the reset handler and played hard person D, and because of that they forced a turnover.
That transition from a poach position to a person to person, it takes a split second. If you're too late, you'll get punished. But if you're on time, you can create a nice turnover just like we saw a few seconds ago. Victoria threatening to score their first break point. It's in the air and it's completed. Number 16, Trevor Knetchell, scoring the first break point for Victoria. They're now only 1 point short of Battleship. It's 4-3 still
and
for the Blue Shirts.
Gulls and Buoys looking a little more alive here, I'd find. Looking more energetic, more into it than they were the first 2 points of the game.
We never had any doubt to have a game, but it is confirmed. We have a game. We will have a game. So those two teams are have a very, very similar seed. So Battleship being seeded number 6, while Victoria is seeded number 9. So at this point, a 3 position is kind of meaningless, considering how challenging it is to seed those teams, considering that they've never played one another. So there's some rulings from Ultimate Canada, but it's always a challenge. So while we see number 23 from Victoria, Wesley Fraser, which I was chatting with him prior to the game, and he mentioned to me that he's almost 40 years old. He's actually 38, so I don't know why he's rounding it up, but still. So he said, well, I'm almost 40 years old, and he mentioned that his dad will come to see him play today. He's from the area, but he's been playing for many, many years. But it's the first time his dad is coming to see him play, and he was all excited about it. So it's not because you're almost 40 that you're not excited to see your parents come and see you play. Guillemette en possession du disque. Attaque le côté ouvert, trouve Map. Map feinte la longue, remet à Guillemette. Oh, ça flotte un peu, mais ça sera maîtrisé par le passeur Guillemette, un autre vétéran de l'équipe Battleship. Alors, il y a un appel, je crois que c'est de l'obstruction là, en milieu de terrain. On discute. Ça semble impliquer le numéro 16, la Colombe Hugues. On a trouvé une résolution à tout ça. On remettra le disque en jeu dans quelques instants. I was talking to one of the observers yesterday, and after one day, overall the observers, there was a few cards that were given, but nothing dramatic. And I was also talking to the spirit director, and she said, oh, well, we're going to have to chit-chat with 2 teams who had the lowest spirit score, but, overall, the tournament is going fairly well from a spirit perspective. On bouge bien 10 du côté des Bleus, Guillemette, qui enchaîne à Blackstock. Le 10 flotte, mais c'est intercepté par la numéro 10, Larissa Corey. Defending that team. Oh, great grab by Victoria, number 16, Trevor Knetchell. Resetting. Victoria their own break mark. Moving the disc well. Crossing the midfield. It's floating in the air by number 16. I believe was standing all by himself. And we have a tie game at 4. Victoria scoring their second consecutive break point. So they're just repeating what Battleship has kicked off the game with. So 3 points in a row by Victoria, number 16. Second point for him also in this game.
I'm sure people have heard this many times before, but Ultimate Frisbee is a game of runs, and that's exactly what we're getting here. Gulls and Buoys having a little bit of a rough start, but we're really getting into a rhythm now, and hopefully they can continue it, as well as Battleship. Hopefully they can stop it now, stop it early, because we saw yesterday two games where one team got up very much in the first half and didn't give enough time left in the game for them to catch up. So hopefully both teams can keep it close.
Alors Victoria qui répond de belle façon à Battleship. Le Battleship qui a commencé le match avec en prenant une avance de 3 à 1, en inscrivant 2 bris consécutifs. Et là, c'est Victoria là, qui vient d'inscrire 3 points consécutifs, donc 2 points bris. Et là, on s'échange coup pour coup en ce début de première mi-temps. Alors, on s'attendait à un match serré. Eh bien, on est servi jusqu'à date. De très belles actions. La défensive de Victoria, là, c'est l'espèce de poach. La défensive là, où on fait du maraudage à l'intérieur. Ça a payé jusqu'à maintenant. Battleship avec un stack vertical. Hull en possession du disque. Cherche une option. La met longue, ça flotte. Sa cible est fin ça. Il y a de la pression. Et c'est attrapé. Est-ce que c'est dans la zone de pointe? Non, c'est sur la ligne. La 44 qui doit trouver une option en soutien. Remet à Hull, le vétéran. Au 44, Gianni Desrosiers. Et voilà, c'est le point Desrosiers là, qui enchaîne, se démarque et inscrit le point. Le 5e point de son équipe. C'est 5-4. Desrosiers qui inscrit son 2e point jusqu'à maintenant. Et Hull qui en est à sa sa 3e passe complétée. Alors, Battleship qui répond de belle façon. Encore une fois, le jeu long avec Desrosiers qui a été laissé fin seul. It seems like Desrosiers was all by herself for some reason. So maybe her defender didn't expect that long pass. But just, you know, when you lose sight of your player just for a split second, it allows the players to get separation by, you know, just a few yards. But that's sufficient to be wide open and to be a great target for a long pass.
She definitely, no doubt, looks like a speedy downfield cutter, which is into her advantage. As well, the wind has died down a bit. It's still pretty strong. We see that both teams have adapted to that, and they're not having trouble with it anymore. Aside from that one huck in the beginning of the game, they, like I said, adapted and have been doing really well.
Guillemette, un des 2 capitaines de la formation de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, donne ses instructions en défensive. Comme Brittany le mentionnait, le vent semble s'être atténué. Il est encore présent, mais peut-être un peu moins fort qu'un peu plus tôt dans ce match. Beau lancer d'engagement de Guillemette là, qui traverse le terrain. 70 verges. Victoria in possession with some long option. Attacking the ends, resetting. Number 3, Whitney Brown, exchanging disc with 76. Patrick Church, sticking to the sideline, their home line. Looking for a reset, very well marked by Guillemette. Disc is in the air, it's floating. Who else than number 76, catching the disc in the air from the right hand. And guess what? Once again, we have a tie game to 5.
Battleship there being a little too poachy, which allowed Gulls and Buoys to really get a lot of easy passes, bringing them to a few yards from the end zone and just had somebody wide open. So Battleship maybe needs to get a little bit tighter on those.
To your point, Victoria, just taking advantage of what Battleship is offering there, and you just like make it happen. So great disc movement by Victoria, ending with about a 30-yard long pass with quite a great angle. And number 76 Church was all by himself at the bottom end of the end zone. Alors on a un match, c'est l'égalité encore une fois entre Battleship de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu qui joue contre Gulls and Buoys de la très belle ville de Victoria en Colombie-Britannique. Étienne Fournier avec vous, en compagnie de Brittany Dos Santos. En entrée de webcast, on mentionnait que Brittany est fraîchement médaillée d'or du championnat canadien division féminine. Elle a remporté la finale contre Iris du Québec la semaine dernière, dimanche dernier, avec son équipe, les Sixers de Toronto, dans un match tout à fait extraordinaire. Ils ont fait beaucoup d'actions. Elle est aussi médaillée de bronze du championnat de la Coupe du monde U24 qui a eu lieu à Heidelberg en Allemagne au mois de juillet. Alors que l'équipe canadienne a remporté le bronze contre l'équipe colombienne après avoir perdu en demi-finale contre le Japon. Le Japon qui s'est ramassé en finale contre les Américaines, et les Américaines qui ont remporté l'or, Japon deuxième, et le Canada troisième. Les hommes ont remporté la médaille d'argent contre les Américains, et pendant que l'équipe mixte a terminé cinquième. Miscued by Battleship, about less than 10 yards away from their own goal line. Great opportunity for Victoria to score another break point and take for the first time the lead in this game. Victoria on the sideline, resetting in the middle. 33 looking for an option, resetting once again. Number 16, Knetschel.
Victoria, Gulls, and Buoys, they're also doing a really nice poachy person D, or sort of a zone, but more of a poach, I'd find, and getting a turnover.
Creating enough confusion to Battleship O-line so far. So great defense by Victoria. Number 2 on the doorstep of the end zone. Little dish pass to, guess who? Number 16, scoring the 6th point of Victoria, taking the lead for the first time in this game. It's now 6-5, Victoria leading. So great celebration by Victoria. I believe they might have had some doubt earlier in the first half. We see just by their body language, the way they were kind of quiet. But now the pressure is on Battleship, who will need to figure out Victoria's defense somehow, some way.
And hopefully Victoria realizes that it's working and keep doing it. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Exactly.
So we saw earlier in this game, number 9 from Battleship, Adam Gauvin, là, qui a atterri lourdement près de la zone de pointe. Là. Il est sur les lignes de côté, il marche présentement, il semble boiter, mais n'a pas fait, à ma connaissance, n'a pas fait d'autres présences sur le terrain. De par son langage corporel, là, il ne semble pas à 100%, il semble boiter encore un peu. Alors reste à voir s'il pourra revenir au jeu, soit au cours de ce match ou peut-être plus tard en cours de tournoi. Peu importe, Battleship qui recevra le disque. La ligne offensive de Battleship là, qui devra trouver des solutions. Alors Battleship qui tire de l'arrière pour la première fois dans ce match. Great pull by number 3, Whitney Brown. Blackstock qui alimente Roy. On s'échange le disque. Guillemette maintenant en possession. Oh, Guillemette, une passe très très basse. Et là, numéro 33 qui vient sauver les meubles, le Roy. Là. Guillemette en doit une à Roy là-dessus. Guillemette. La pression, encore une fois, la défensive là, de maraudage à Victoria qui sème la confusion dans l'offensive. Là. Beaucoup de joueurs alentour du 10. Blackstock maintenant en possession du 10. Trouve l'espace. Battleship est parti. Roy feinte le lancer droit. Est marqué par une joueuse féminine. Remet à Guillemette. On voit on s'adapte rapidement de côté Victoria qui crée des femmes qui courent et des hommes. Blackstock maintenant. Environ 4 verges à la zone de pointe. Cherche à remettre en soutien. Trouve Guillemette. Guillemette feinte côté droit. Met le 10 dans les airs. Blackstock. Oh! Petite passe qui va de l'intérieur à l'extérieur. Là. Quelle habilité ici de Guillemette qui a alimenté Blackstock. Il n'a eu qu'à attaquer, qui a surpris sa marque. Et c'est le retour de l'égalité. Battleship qui inscrit un 6e point. C'est 6-6. C'est Blackstock, le numéro 23, qui inscrit le point. So what a great, smooth little inside-out flick by Guillemette. These throws, like it seems very easy, but how skillful is that throw?
It's a very, you need a lot of skill to be able to throw that. Also, the wind is sort of coming towards us, so that also is upwind. So that is expected to float. It could get popped up and float, but he did a really good job of leading him nicely enough. Also, his defender was face guarding him, so those are a lot easier to make those throws when you know you're being face guarded, and you could just stand and they'll just throw and you just run onto it. those tend to work quite a bit on handler resets. Also, I wanted to correct myself. Gulls and Buoys weren't doing a Portuguese. They were doing a 2-3-2, which is a zone. So I noticed the 2-3-2 worked quite a bit, and Battleship just did a good job of breaking it.
Well, it worked at least for a while, because when you play that type of defense, you want to force the other team of making many throws, and just from a statistic standpoint, you will get a turnover 1 every 10, 11 passes. So you put the odds on your side by forcing the other team of completing many passes. And I want to highlight, as you mentioned, also the chemistry between Guillemette and Blackstock on the last point. So Blackstock was on the open side, a few yards away from Guillemette. There was an eye contact. He really said, okay, I know Guillemette can make that throw, and my defender is looking at me, so German, and put it in the disc in the space. So great chemistry, great skills displayed by Battleship. Victoria looking to take a 1-point lead back in this first half, heading towards the end of the first half. Who will win it? Who knows? Number 16 putting it long, and it's completed. Very well cut. Great lefty catch by number 78, I believe. Number 72, Amanda Kong, and it's a turnover in favor of Battleship. The heat was on, but Victoria could not handle it.
That was a very nice strike and a very nice leading puck. Fortunately, they had a turnover, but hopefully Battleship can get a quick point off of it.
Vertical stack by Battleship. Tremblay-Rémillard en possession du disque. On attaque le côté bris. Desrosiers maintenant. Et là, c'est... Oh là là! Ouf! On a passé près là, du contact. Number 16 laying it out. Knetschel. Unfortunately, no damage done. Disc is still on. Victoria started this point on D, looking to score another break point. Disc is going break, but it's defended by Desrosiers. Just had to tip the disc down. Great reading by, was it Desrosiers? Not sure. And a timeout call by Battleship. Alors Battleship là, qui devra discuter pour s'aligner, comment est-ce qu'on réussit à se démarquer. On voit que le stack vertical, là, où vraiment le premier joueur du stack descend pour ensuite attaquer le côté bris. On a donné 2 options à Tremblay-Rémillard et elle a tenté la passe côté bris pour la 2e option. Sans succès. Le disque était hors de portée de la cible. So Battleship still struggling, even though they start like a very clean vertical stack, really attacking the end, and after that going 45-degree angle on the break side, which has not proven successful so far. So they need to figure out something else.
It seems as though Battleship keeps switching between the hoe and vertical stack. Whenever they have time to set it up on a sideline, it seems like they go with the vertical stack to sort of do a sideline play and have some structure and organization. Unfortunately, it didn't work that time. Maybe it'll work in the future. Maybe they want to try a horizontal stack and see what they can work with, but hopefully just get into a rhythm here.
At first glimpse, it seems they will maintain their vertical stack. Alors Battleship là, qui devra trouver des solutions. Le stack vertical, jusqu'à là, voilà, on attaque de l'arrière du stack Desrosiers. Cherche une cible, met disque long, ça flotte. Tremblay-Rémillard. Et là, ça a été défendu. Well defended by number, I think it's number 30. Who was it? Wesley Fraser, number 23. Great reading. Well positioned himself. So, try to feed number 72, Amanda Kong, but it's just a little too high for her to handle. So another opportunity for Battleship to score this point. Another miscue by Battleship. Victoria moving the disc. A Attacking the open side. Great bid by Battleship. A little too short. Le numéro 7, Louis-Félix Bousquet. Met toute la gomme là-dessus, mais c'est un peu court. Now number 23, Fraser. Putting it long. It's floating. Oh, just slightly out of reach of number 7, but great long path by Trevor Knetchell, and it's the 7th point of Victoria, taking a lead back by only 1 point. What a game do we have here today, and it's another point for number 16. It's already his 4th point of the game.
And that was a really nice throw there by Fraser. Really made it hard for the defender to get it. Barely missed it. It was a very close one, but it was a nice leading pass. Didn't float too much, enough for the defender to get under it.
And Bousquet, the defender number 7, he really gave it all. And when you're on defense and you feel the disc is just slightly out of your reach, you try to jump earlier to have your opponent maybe misreading the disc. So great bid by Bousquet, but unfortunately it was not sufficient. Still, we have only a 1 point game here. After seeing Battleship taking the lead early in this first half, Victoria has very well responded back to finally take for the first time the lead. But the two teams are exchanging punches so far. Alors Battleship qui sera en réception de service. Le numéro 15 là, de Victoria. Peitko qui vient de faire le lancer d'engagement. Victoria qui installe une zone défensive. Blackstock trouve Guillemette. On s'échange de 10 entre Blackstock et Guillemette. Guillemette encore une fois. Blackstock. On se rend à la politesse. On trouve Roy. Beau passé court ici. On enchaîne bien. On est au point de brick. Côté Battleship. On voit le Victoria transitioning from a zone defense to a person-to-person defense. Blackstock just about a few inches travel here. No argument. Blackstock going break, but no. Was that foot block? Not sure it was, but nonetheless it was grounded. Victoria back in possession at their own goal line. Looking for a reset. Number 10 getting into trouble. Time is running out, but there was a foul call, so it will be a reset. Disc is floating. It's dangerous for Callahan, but it's a miscue by Victoria. So great pressure by the Quebec team, who's at the doorstep of scoring their point. Guillemette faking, putting it on the break side, finding Blackstock, and we have a point confirmed for Battleship. Guess what? Once again, it's a tie game now at 7.
That was a really good D by Battleship. One of the ladies on Gulls and Buoys cut towards the disc, and their defender decided to stay in the lane and caused that around throw that lifted a little too high and got defended nicely by Battleship.
So in Victoria, so far number 16, Knetchell has scored 4 of his team 7 points, while on the Battleship end, there's number 23, Blackstock, who has scored twice, and Desrosiers also has scored twice for the Blue Jersey team. So it's 7-7. So Brittany, tell me how important it is to win the first half of a game, mentally speaking.
Mentally, it sort of gets you ready for the second half, I'd say. Really, winning the half is a huge thing. Obviously, it's not the determiner of the game, but it can be very emotionally better to be able to go into the second half knowing you took half and knowing that you could take the second half as well.
So we're almost 55 minutes into this game. So next point, we'll decide who takes the first half, and Battleship putting a rolly pull out of bound. Let's expect maybe a zone defense or Kindish, yeah. We'll have a zone defense, or maybe a person-to-person. Not sure. Let's see. Yeah, there's a poach. Try to close the open side on the sideline. Victoria looking for a reset. Way behind, but still completed in possession. Number 23, Fraser made himself open. Fraser still in possession. Floaty disc. It's in the air. Great angle. Still. Now it's Church. Feeding Fraser. Fraser looking to go underneath. And the wind, I believe, might have picked it up. And it's a turnover favoring Battleship. So their poach defense has caused the expected damage. Disc is in the air, and it's being caught, and it's confirmed by the observers. Number 99, Audrey Galipo-Lessard, qui inscrit le 8e point pour Battleship, qui inscrit un point bris ici, et qui prennent les devants et qui remportent la mi-temps 8-7 après que les deux équipes se soient échangées l'avance, que ce soit en début ou en milieu de première demi. Et là, Battleship qui inscrit 2 points consécutifs pour prendre l'avance 8-7. Mais c'est loin d'être terminé ce match. Une tonne d'actions. On a vu de très très belles actions des deux équipes là. So Brittany, wow, what a great game so far. We expected it, and how well are we served?
Well, it's a very tight, close game, as we expected, like you said. Both teams have been throwing a lot of curveballs at each other with zones and poaches, and Battleship had a nice split and send pull play. A lot of things are happening, and both teams are being very successful. Both have gone on a few runs, and again, like I said earlier, this is a game of runs. There's been a lot of pressure D, a lot of nice completions, and this is just a great game to watch.
Alors, nous allons prendre une courte pause. We're going to take a short break for this 5-minute halftime. So, on est au championnat canadien, division mixte, édition 2019. Et c'est 8-7 pour Battleship. On revient dans un instant. We'll be right back.
You and your family are diverse and unique. Our experienced optometrists and staff at Kodak Lens Vision Center focus on providing a personalized and unique experience to exceed all of your visual needs. You and your family are diverse and unique. Our experienced optometrists and staff at Kodak Lens Vision Center focus on providing a personalized and unique experience to exceed all of your visual needs.
On est de retour. We are back for this game featuring Battleship from Quebec versus Victoria, Gulls and Buoys. Extremely tight game. Battleship taking the half 8-7 after the two teams have exchanged punch throughout the first half. So, Guillemette qui intercepte cette passe là, on visait très très loin, mais Guillemette qui traînait par là, a levé la main, bloqué. Guillemette qui alimente le disque dans les airs, c'est Matt la cible. Il y a beaucoup de chandail blanc alentour. Et Matt qui atterrit avec le disque, inscrit un point bris dès le départ de cette deuxième mi-temps. Wow, quel statement vient de faire ici Battleship. Prennent l'avance par 2.9-7.
Gulls and Buoys starting off there with a handler strike. I personally love handler strikes. I'm a little heartbroken to see that it didn't work
Who doesn't love
out.
handler strike, eh?
Also, Patrick Math there with the point. Really, you can see him putting his hand towards the sun. I guess it's hard to see. We have a tent, so the sun doesn't really affect us. But
good observation.
You can see how the sun's in the eyes of Patrick Math, and he read that well.
And it was 3 white jerseys surrounding him, so great, tons of pressure, but still he was able to hold that disc and giving Battleship a very quick and early break point to kick off this second half. So great statement by Battleship, but hey, Victoria for sure will respond back. In a very near future, Victoria will receive the pull from Battleship. Alors, belle lecture de Map sur la dernière séquence, là, qui avait une tonne de pression par 3 chandails blancs alentour de lui. Il a levé la main dans les airs, là, probablement pour protéger le soleil là, qui devait nuire à sa lecture de disque. De façon brillante, a su bien synchroniser son saut. And it's the rolling pull on going out of bound by Vincent Hull. And let's suspect another poach or maybe a zone defense. Let's see, yeah. Tons of pressure. There's like a wall of players, white jerseys surrounding number 16. Knechtel pivoting, working around just along the sideline. Still poach defense by Battleship. Looking for reset, but too much angle on that throw. Turnover favoring Battleship. Knechtel, who has been very, very successful in this game, just miscuing his reset. Let's suspect the win to pick up. Vincent Hull putting it in the space. Ça flotte, ça flotte, ça flotte. Et c'est attrapé. Est-ce que c'est à l'intérieur? Oui, c'est confirmé par les observers. Battleship qui inscrit un 10e point et surtout un 3e point bris consécutif après une passe, disons-le, un peu ambitieuse de Hull, mais Tremblay-Rémillard qui a été très, très, très résilient et aussi le vent semble avoir maintenu le disque dans les airs un peu plus longtemps que ce que ça la destination initiale. So we saw the disc kind of hanging in there, probably like the wind just maintain it in the air, which allowed Tremblay-Rémillard to really hustle for that disc and landing it with his hand.
Yeah. I think it's also, we don't really stress much how important pulls are, but will they're really setting up a nice rolling pull that allowed them to set up their zone and get that turnover. It's so important to have a good pull and he made that point happen.
Amazing. Well, the Battleship tactic has worked out, and in the meantime, Tremblay-Rémillard was landed with the disc to score his team 10 points. Is still down. He seems to suffer from, is that an ankle or a knee, maybe just cramping, not sure, but he's down, but surrounded by a few teammates, by Gauvin, just tapping his back. Gauvin still got injured early in the first half. Battleship with the pull, hustling down, person-to-person defense against Victoria's horizontal stack. So Battleship has just scored their 3rd break point in a row in this game, taking now a 3-point lead now. Victoria on their own goal line, looking for some option kind of a poach defense here again by Battleship. The handlers poaching in the open space. Intercepted by Roy. Oh, quelle belle lecture ici de Roy qui non seulement défend le 10, mais le garde dans ses mains. Guillemette qui cherche une option. Battleship qui tente de s'organiser près de la zone de pointe. Une ambitieuse passe du côté droit. Est-ce que c'est à l'intérieur? Oui, c'est confirmé. Je crois que c'est Map qui atterrit avec cette passe. Alors Battleship, that just punishes Victoria for their miscuing. And a great reading by Roy who intercepted that pass. So let's give all the credit for the poachy handler work from Battleship on this last action.
Again, the poachy handler D works for them in their favor, getting a really nice layout D block, and immediately Patrick Mapp showing some long jump skills there and really hopping that into the end zone.
Timeout call back by Victoria. So I'd like to highlight also like Guillemette still going flick on his right hand side with a little floaty pass, just in the space. It was I think an ambitious throw, but still, you gotta trust into your receiver, and your receiver, you gotta say, okay, he can make that pass. I'm gonna give myself offer myself as a target. So still great handling skills displayed by Guillemette on that last point. So a fourth break point by Battleship in a row. So they have scored the last 5 points of this game, considering ending the first half with the last 2 points, and now they have scored 3 in a row.
Guillemette there, he's assisted 4 points already. Really having a good game, really knowing and sort of playing to his strengths with those flicks. Like, he knows he can do them, and he is very confident in throwing them. And honestly, confidence, if you know you can do it, why not?
Guillemette being one of the 2 captain of a Battleship. He's a veteran in the Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu ultimate community. Very involved. He's been playing for a long time. He's also very active in the 4-on-4 ultimate scene in the province of Quebec. Always, most of the time in the top 8 seeded team, so has great handling skills.
Quebec has very, very good 4-on-4.
It's amazing. Like, there is this tournament in the month of March, which is called Mars Attack, which is hosted in Quebec City. And they have like 200 teams attending it. There's like 3 sites playing from 8 in the morning up until 6, 7 at night. And the level of playing is just amazing. Like, even if you play like team seeded like 20, still the game is so quick. And so I just love 4-on-4 because it just forces, like when you play 7-on-7, I don't know what are your thoughts, Brittany, but on 7-on-7 when you're on offense, sometimes you can hide. You can say, okay, I'm going to stay out. I'm going to not create anything. I'm just going to stay out of the way, giving myself as a target once in a while. But when you play 4-on-4, you cannot hide. You have to be involved, give your team some options. And so I love 4-on-4.
I always say in 4-on-4, everybody's a handler, because at one point or another, you are going to touch the disc.
You are so right. Victoria looking for a response after suffering 5 points in a row against them. Nectel with the disc on the sideline. Battleship zone defense shutting down the open line. Oh, what a great pass alongside the sideline. So Fraser now with the disc, entering the red zone, resetting with a nice floaty flick. There was a pick call. Victoria about 19 yards away from scoring their first point of this second half. So both teams have exchanged punches in the first half. For sure, Victoria looking to respond back to Battleship. 3 points in a row, 3 break points in a row. In this second half, there was a travel call here, called by Hull. against his opponent. Ul reenacting. I just love reenactment.
I find it's very funny, especially when you have two teams, specifically at Worlds, who don't speak the same language. You almost always find that they try to act it out, and it's just sometimes it can be really funny to watch.
Yeah, especially when the two teams don't speak the same language. Sometimes you got to make yourself understand. So reenactment skills becomes very, very important. But we don't do any drills on reenacting for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe in the future. But in the meantime, Victoria threatening in the red zone. Vic with the vertical stack resetting. Number 10, Corey. Disc is in the space, but miscued by Victoria. Oh, this one can be very, very hurtful. They were in the red zone but could not convert. Their O-line losing possession of the disc. Vincent Houle qui reprendra le 10 pour le remettre en jeu. Environ une verge à sa propre zone de points. On a un stack horizontal. Houle qui met ça très loin, mais non. C'est hors de portée de la numéro 99. Audrey Galipo-Lessard. Victoria qui répond avec une autre passe dans l'espace. Et là, on s'échange les passes longues. We've seen a lot of long throws with definitive angle, which, not.
That's what Battleship was practicing during their warm-up. However, it hasn't exactly been working this game. So maybe taking a second and rethinking the throw, or concentrating a little bit more of getting it a little more towards the far side of the field over the defender.
So Battleship zone defense has caused some damage so far to Victoria's O-line, and I suspect that Victoria didn't want to allow Battleship zone defense to set up. Maybe that's why they've attempted that quick pass, but it was fruitless. So some discussion amongst the two players. So Houle finding a resolution with his opponent. Houle, forced flick, going reset. Oh, it's a floaty disc. Very, very dangerous. Disc is floating. Nice vertical by Simon Chapdelaine. Houle en possession du 10, feinte le revers, brise la marque, remet à Jean-Philippe McCutcheon. Houle encore, c'est long, avec un angle très très accentué. C'était la numéro 13 qui était la cible, Elodie Ouellette, mais elle était défendue par deux chandails blancs. Victoria back with the disc, Nectel putting it long, nice flick. And it's completed and confirmed by the observers, number 16, who initiated the pass, but not sure who has scored. Nonetheless, it's the first point of the second half for Victoria, who just scored their 8th point, still trailing by 3. Battleship ahead 11-8.
I believe that was Amanda Kong who scored the disc, number 72. If I'm not mistaken. It's a little hard to see from here.
So what a great pass by Netzel, really, with the wind. Like the angle, you got to give you this at the beginning of your throwing motion. Got to give the proper angle, like towards the ground, and just whip it.
Initially, I was a little skeptical of the throw because Battleship had a male defender helping out deep, but really put that in front, and it was the same line huck. Those were very hard, especially in the wind, and it was very nicely placed.
So we have seen Battleship kind of squeezing Victoria towards this side of the field with a lot of success, and but we have seen less action on the other side of the field. So it's easier for a cameraman who's doing an amazing job here today. Sebastian, so thanks Sebastian for being with us. It's the first time that Sebastian attends Ultimate, and I think I'm not lying in saying he's now a big fan of the sport. So thanks for being with us. He's thumbing me up, so I guess he agrees.
Nice pull there by Gulls and Buoys, setting up a zone, trapping them on the sideline.
try to have Battleship a taste of their own medicine. Guillemette putting it long. I don't think the map was the target, but it way out of reach, so maybe just an opportunity to set up their zone against Victoria. Horizontal stack, but it seems to be a person-to-person defense right now. Victoria at their own goal line, number 34, looking for an Ensign. Berezin. Nectel with the disc. What a game he has so far. Gaining some yardage on Victoria's end. Still trailing by 3. With approximately 10-12 minutes to be played in that game, trailing by 3. A comeback is not impossible, but the clock is against the white jerseys right now. Some discussion with what I suspect being a foul on the mark. Looking for a reset. Intercepted by Roy, just grabbing that disc. It's floating in the air. Second time Roy is doing that in this game. Resetting to Guillemette. Guillemette looking for an answer, almost at the break mark. Feeding Map along the sideline. Guillemette attacking the line, going back, going upward. And Map will find Guillemette for the 12 point of Battleship, still leading by 4. So Guillemette scoring his first point of the game, but he has many assists. So pressure is on for Victoria, trailing by 4 as we mentioned, with approximately 10 minutes to be played before the hard cap horn. Alors Battleship là, qui vient de confirmer une avance de 4 points avec une dizaine de minutes à jouer avant ce qu'on appelle le hard cap. Donc les matchs ont d'une durée de 90 minutes, mais à la 85e minute, on entendra la sirène qui annoncera on terminera le point, ce sera le dernier point du match. So still great defense pressure by Battleship, and how painful it is when you get a turn with a few yards away from your own end zone. So that's what Victoria just suffered from.
It's really unfortunate since Battleship has been getting those turns, and once they are on the end zone line, they rarely turn it over. Usually they have an easy score, which is what they've been doing. So it's really important that Gulls and Buoys try to play that really hard defense or really avoid turning the disc over right in front of their end zone.
We saw in the first half, at one point Battleship was winning 4-1. And after that they won the first half 8-7. But now if we only look at the second half, Battleship is winning 4-1. So and Victoria was able to come back. But now, as we mentioned, clock is against Victoria. So it was an offside, I believe, in the last. An offside by Battleship. So Victoria will put the disc back into play. Halfway through the field. Victoria resetting. Pacto finding his teammate, feeding number 8, Beak. Getting into the red zone. Whitney Brown feeding number 15, Pacto. Vertical stack in the end zone, attacking the break side, and it's confirmed. Number 10 scoring Victoria's 9th point, still trailing by 3 with approximately 7-8 minutes to be played in this game. So clean offense from Victoria, who took advantage of putting the disc back into play about halfway on the field.
And really nice having that score on the break side and really using, instead of jamming it into the open side, especially since Battleship is playing very good defense, really good work to move it towards the break side and have a nice easy pass.
So last point for Victoria. I don't remember seeing number 76, Church, which has a great impact on this game. There's also number 16, Knechtel. Don't recall seeing him. They're usually very present with the disc, having a lot of disc touches. But in the last point, Seems like Victoria did some swaps on their lineup. And now there was a timeout call late in this game, late in this second half. Not sure who has called the timeout. If it's Battleship, well, it can for sure be a part of a time management tactic. If it's on Victoria, well, we hope they are aware that time is running out. So still some windy condition here in Brampton, Ontario for the 2019 Canadian Ultimate Championship featuring mixed and master mixed division. So we had the privilege of featuring 3 webcasts yesterday. On the menu today we still have 3 webcasts. So this one featuring Battleship against Victoria, Gulls and Buoys. The next one will be a mixed master division game that will start at 10:30. After the 10:30 games, we'll take a break and we'll be back at 2:30 Eastern Time to feature a crossover game. The 2 teams are still to be determined upon the result of this morning's games, but for sure it will be an exciting one. Crossover games are always exciting, so the 2 teams that will be featuring will put everything on the line to make sure they access the top 8 of this Canadian Ultimate Championship. Alors après ce match, notre prochain rendez-vous sera à 10h30. On présentera entre autres une match de division Master Mix. On présentera l'équipe Master de la belle ville de Québec. Alors ça sera à 10h30. Et par la suite, on prendra une pause pour se donner rendez-vous à 2h30 cet après-midi pour un match de reclassement. Pour savoir, les équipes restent à déterminer, mais un match de reclassement qui déterminera qui gagnera ce match, accédera au top 8 de cette division. Donc toujours des matchs très très excitants. Battleship en possession du disque. Le numéro 28, Heidi Larouche, qui alimente Roy. Mais ça dans les airs, c'est Map. Et Mapo, là, qui était derrière son joueur, qui a eu accès au disque, mais n'a pu contrôler le disque. On discute brièvement, mais aucun appel. Alors, bel esprit sportif là, des 2 joueurs. Victoria looking for a break point late in the second half. They're trading by 3. Disc is in the air. Oh, very well read by number 2, Galbraith. There's a call by Guillemette, who thought he had a better position. Hard to tell from our point of view. Both arguing.
Yeah, interesting shot there. Also, there's an open under to number 33. Banging wrote nose, but they decided for the huck to Peter Galbraith. In my opinion, it looked a little bit like Guillemette had it first.
Hard to tell.
It's a little hard to tell.
Was that a strip? The 2 observers are discussing, reaching out to the observers. Both players telling their version of the story. Galbraith said, I had a hold first. Guillemette said, no, I had a hold first. Spirit of the game being displayed here. Observers Yvonne just ensuring that she understood well. Ruling that Galbraith had a hold first. Very, very tight call. No more argument. The disc will be back into play with Victoria about 12 yards away from the end zone, looking for a break point in the second half, pivoting, looking for a reset, finding 76 Church, moving the disc, attacking the line, being denied by Roy, resetting to Church, finding his teammate number 36, Von de Weed. Unfortunate miscue by Victoria, who had a great breakpoint opportunity with about less than 2 minutes away from the hard cap horn. Guillemette finding Blackstock sideways. Blackstock faking, putting the disc in the space. It's a nice floating pass. Oh, what a grab by Battleship, celebrating that. Wow, what a great grab by Simard, who really put everything on the line to catch that disc. What a nice pass by Blackstock in the space. And Battleship confirming a 13th point in this game. Still leading by 4 with almost no times left. We'll probably see the last point being played in a few seconds.
That was a really, really nice throw by Blackstock. Really faking off the open to make his mark bite, and had a wide open backhand cross field where just to space where his offender could run onto.
Pardonnez-moi, j'ai dit Simard, mais c'est plutôt Richard Geneviève qui a attrapé ce disque là. Elle a tout mis sur la ligne. I had the opportunity to talk to Geneviève Richard before the game, and she was mentioning that she used to play women in those last few days, so that's her first co-ed experience on a competitive team. She's based in Sherbrooke, which is about still at least an hour drive from Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. So, and why she decided to play mix is because she was traveling in Asia while all the women's team tryout occurred. So, and she said, okay, well, what am I doing? Okay, let's try co-ed. And well, at least in that last point, she displayed her athleticism. We just heard the horn confirming it is the last point. Victoria in possession. We're on zone defense here being played by Battleship. Victoria trying to score a 10-point in this game. Battleship has the victory in hand, but everybody still play with still a lot of intensity, focusing. Everybody wants that last point to make a statement. Say, hey, we're not giving up. We're at Canadian Championship. We're here to play good, hard, ultimate. Victoria, nice disc movement, not allowing the stall to set up. Still, zone defense by Battleship, even though they are a few yards away from their own goal line. Oh, nice bid by number 95, Michael Hull. And Victoria scoring the last point of this game. And that's how this game will conclude. No, there was no point. It was a turnover. Forgive me. Thanks, Brittany, for bringing me back on this one. Hull, qui, je pense, c'était destiné à Chapdelaine, mais Chapdelaine ne s'est même pas rendu compte que le disque était dans les airs, mais malgré tout, c'était hors de portée. Alors, Hull, malgré une belle passe dans l'espace, c'était passe incomplète. Nice footwork by number 15. Petko to keep the disc inside. Great disc movement by Victoria. Resetting, great pressure by number 7, Bousquet. Still, zone defense by Battleship. They're just hanging in there. It has proven successful so far. Victoria putting the disc in the space. Will it be in? Unfortunately, it was out, even though number 8 made a great effort, Beak, to tip that disc back into play. It's a turnover for Battleship. Hull will put the disc back into play. Hull, le capitaine, un des deux capitaines avec Guillemette de Battleship, cherche une option. Trouve Bousquet qui a fait un beau tracé long pour revenir à l'intérieur pour s'offrir en cible. Alimente le 99 Galipo-Lessard. C'est Bousquet encore une fois avec le 10. Belle marque ici, mais réussit à la contourner. On bouge bien le 10 du côté de Battleship, mais il y a eu obstruction, là, la numéro 29 qui était fin seule. C'était un peu suspect, Robillard, mais la joueuse qui la défend a été victime d'obstruction, involontaire évidemment. Peu importe, on remet le disque à Hull, Michael, et non pas Vincent. Oh, belle lecture de disque ici. So Victoria's defending well. Nice anticipation. Putting the disc in the space. It's folding. Will that be inbound or out of bound? It's still out of bound. Second time that number 8 opens himself like beak, but unfortunately the last two passes that were made to him in the goal line were just out of bounds.
Unfortunately, Gulls and Buoys, I think just wanting to end this game, getting a little too excited and forcing these unforced errors, that's just having a longer point.
Défensive homme pour homme ou personne à personne, plutôt Bousquet avec le disque. Une passe, oh, belle attrapée ici, la numéro 29 d'une seule main, Heidi Larouche. Hein. Belle maîtrise ici. On remet à Hull, Michael. Il y a eu contact, on arrête le jeu. On discute côté des joueurs, mais on n'argumentera pas plus longtemps. Remet le disque en jeu, Michael Hull. Feinte, long, remet en soutien. À l'autre Hull, Vincent celui-ci. Vincent, Hull qui met ça long. C'est défendu par deux chandails blancs. Mais non, c'est converti, là, le numéro 3 qui s'en veut, qui aurait souhaité intercepter cette passe, mais ça a frayé son chemin jusqu'à la cible de Battleship. Et Battleship qui inscrit le 14e point et qui confirme sa victoire 14-9. So what a game, Brittany, we had. Sort of very well fought in the first half, but the second half was all about Battleship scoring 6 points, while Victoria only able to score 2 points.
Battleship really just showing their dominance in the second half. Gulls and Buoys, I think, sort of just had a rough time figuring out the defense of Battleship and didn't have enough time to really adjust and make a comeback.
As you very well mentioned, like it's all about adjusting, and at the adjusting battle, well, Battleship won this aspect of the game and led it to a 14-9 victory. So Battleship being still undefeated in that tournament so far, while Victoria suffering their first loss out of 3 games. So what a great match we have seen today. So, alors, c'est là-dessus que nous allons conclure notre web diffusion Battleship, là, qui, comme Brittany le mentionnait, les deux équipes qui ont dû s'adapter au cours de match et à la bataille là, des ajustements, ben, c'est Battleship qui l'aura remporté de belle façon, 14-9, alors que la première mi-temps s'est conclue 8-7 en faveur de Battleship, mais la deuxième mi-temps, ben, Battleship inscrit 6 points, alors que Victoria n'a su répondre qu'avec 2 points. Alors, belle victoire de l'équipe québécoise. Alors, ça conclut notre web diffusion pour l'instant. Nous allons prendre une pause, à peu près une trentaine de minutes. On vous donne rendez-vous à 10h30, alors que l'équipe Maxter Mix de la belle ville de Québec sera en présentation pour ce match. So we'll take about almost a 30-minute break, and our next appointment will be right here in Brampton, Ontario, featuring a mixed master game. So see you very soon. Alors on se reparle dans une trentaine de minutes. À bientôt!